Hey everybody, Paul Brooks here from B-Movie Mania. Welcome to the very first episode of something I'm calling tonight's double feature. It's a new thing that I'm trying out, kind of just for fun. I'm hanging out here, and I just felt like talking about some movies. So basically what this show is going to be is two movies that I talk about that are connected in some way, have some sort of a theme, and it's just going to be for fun. I'm going to drink a beer. As you can see right here, I'm drinking a Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, and it's like 8.2% alcohol, so it's pretty serious business. And so let's talk about some movies. For the first episode, oh, by the way, usually, at least sort of in my head, these are going to be movies that probably are not the sort of thing that would be discussed on B-Movie Mania, the podcast, or shown during the marathon or anything like that. So stuff that, needs to be talked about and needs a home. So for the first episode, we are going to talk about what I'm calling the Darko family. Specifically, we will start with Donnie Darko. Of course, the, I want to say 2001, 2002, 2001, because I think it came out right around 9/11. But obviously a cult movie, a cult favorite with a lot of people. And this is the Arrow release that came out not too long ago, a handful of years ago. Since then, I know that they've released 4K, and they had some problems with it. Like there was something wrong with the disc, and people had to send their disc back or something like that. I'm fine sticking with the Blu-ray. I don't have a 4K player or anything like that. But Donnie Darko is a movie that when it came out, I wasn't really, I don't know, I was doing other stuff. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I saw it, and I remember liking it. I thought it was fine, but I wasn't wowed by it or anything like that. And I do have some friends who, it's a favorite for them. So not too long ago, maybe, I don't know, 6 months or something like that, six months ago, I went back and revisited it. And I gotta say, it's a great movie. It really is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of interesting elements to it. Sorry, I had to get that out. Richard Kelly directed the film, and he is someone who has you can tell that he had a very specific vision for this. I would say that there's kind of some David Lynchian elements to it, but at the same time, it's a coherent story. There's, by the end of the film, I think that you can have a conversation about it for sure, but I think it's pretty clear what the outcome of the story was. Great cast. That's the other thing about watching a movie like this is you go back and watch it and you're like, wow, like, Jake Gyllenhaal started his career basically with this movie, as did his sister Maggie. Mary McDonnell is in it, who, of course, I love from Battlestar Galactica. Jenna Malone is in it. There's a lot of great people in this movie. Even a young Seth Rogen is in this movie. So it's kind of it's interesting because it's a time capsule of the early 2000s in a way, in terms of the making of the movie. But at the same time, it's also a time capsule. It's got that 80s feel to it because it's set in the 80s. And it's got that great soundtrack, Echo and the Bunnymen and Tears for Fears, and lots of other great 80s tunes in this movie. And of course, Sparkle Motion. You cannot talk about Donnie Darko without mentioning Sparkle Motion, which, is going to come into play a little bit later as we get to our second movie. But if this is a movie that you haven't seen for a while, maybe you saw it when it first came out and you haven't thought about it much since then, I would recommend giving it another shot. I think it's streaming on Tubi. You can find it out there. And that's what I did when I wanted to rediscover it. And I enjoyed it so much that I bought this Blu-ray from Arrow Films. And there's lots of special features on it. So you should go pick up Donnie Darko. And enjoy it. So there's the first movie. And now things are going to get a little bit more interesting because, as I said, this is a video about the Darko family. And our second film is, in fact, the second film in the Donnie Darko franchise, which I'm willing to bet some people out there probably don't even know that this movie exists, but it does. It's S. Darko. The S stands for Samantha, Donnie's youngest sister in the first film. This is a sequel about her. And as you can see, I have a note on the cover of my Blu-ray here for S. Darko. Let me hold this up and see if you can read that. Yeah, that says, "May God have mercy on your soul," with a little heart and a smiley face. So, story time. This movie, my friend Kevin is a really big Donnie Darko fan. I mentioned that I had some friends who were really big into the movie when it came out. My buddy Kevin is really into Donnie Darko. So I saw this Blu-ray. I actually bought this Blu-ray for Kevin at a Big Lots in Huntington Beach, California, when I was living in California. And it was like $2, I think. And I'm like, oh, why not? I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to give this to him as a Christmas present. Kevin watched the movie and pretty much returned it to me with this note on it that said, "May God have mercy on your soul." Now, he wasn't rude about it or anything like that. I had said, "Hey, do you want to watch S. Darko?" And he pretty much just said, "You watch it." And so him and his wife, Alyssa, gave it back to me. I'm pretty sure Alyssa wrote that note right there, "May God have mercy on your soul." So needless to say, they were not a fan of the sequel, S. Darko. But, surprise, surprise, I gave it a watch, and guess what? It's not that bad. It's okay. I know that a lot of people out there who have seen this film will disagree with me when I say that it was not that bad of a movie, and that's okay. This is YouTube. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you would like to leave a nasty comment down below about S. Darko, you are welcome to do so. It's not a great movie by any means, do not get me wrong. It is certainly not on the same, level as the first film by any means. But here's the thing. I'm not sure how to say her name. Devin, I guess just Devin. Yeah. Devin Chase reprises her role in this film as Samantha Darko. She played Samantha in the first film, and they got her back for the sequel. So to me, that's kind of a big deal, because if you're going to make a movie about the character you might as well get the actor who everyone knows as that character, because that doesn't always happen if you try to do a sequel. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me comes to mind, where they had to cast somebody else as Donna. But Devon Chase is back in this movie. This movie takes place, I think, 7 years after the events of Donnie Darko. So it takes place in like the mid 90s. And so she's like a teenager, and she's running from her past, and she's running from everything that happened in the first movie. And basically what this movie is they play Donnie Darko's greatest hits. It's like a Donnie Darko cover band, this movie. They do the special, they do the chest thing, the special effect with the chest thing. There's like a meteor crash that's kind of similar to the plane crash in the first movie. One of the characters in the film, who's like a war veteran, I think he's, what was her name in Donnie Darko? Grandma Death, the old lady who figured out time travel stuff. There's a character in this movie who is her grandson or something like that. So it's basically taking a lot of the elements from the things that made Donnie Darko popular and kind of just redoing them in a different setting with a different cast. It kind of takes place out in the desert, out by like California. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, look, it's B-movie mania. A lot of the stuff that I enjoy is not the greatest thing ever made, and this was not made by Richard Kelly. The original director is not associated with this film whatsoever. And he certainly disowned it. So I'm not sure who it's directed by. Chris Fisher, is that what that says? Anyway, I watched some of the special features on here. It does say that there's the making of S. Darko on here. I watched it. It looked like they had a good time making the movie, and it looked like the filmmakers' hearts were in the right place with this, because I'm pretty sure that like 20th Century Fox said, we want a sequel to this. And Richard Kelly said no, and they said, all right, well, we're going to do it. I guess they must have had the rights to it or whatever, and they just went ahead and made the sequel and hired a different director. So it's like, if you get asked to direct the sequel to Donnie Darko, I'm not going to say no. You take a job sometimes. But if you haven't seen this movie and you can find it streaming somewhere, or you can find it cheap at a Big Lots or something like that, I would say, maybe check it out, because I think it's worth a watch. Now, that is tonight's double feature, but since it's the first episode of the show, got a little surprise for you. Wanted to do something special for the first episode. So, the other day I was at a movie and video game store, and I picked up the director's cut of Donnie Darko, which I'm not going to be reviewing because I haven't watched it yet. It's tonight's double feature. We're not doing 3 movies. I just wanted to quickly point out that this is out there if anybody wants to check it out. Although, from what I understand, you might want to stick with the original version, because apparently what happened, Richard Kelly had some things that he wanted to do for the first film that he didn't quite have the budget for, I guess. And so in, I want to say 2004, he ended up putting out a director's cut of Donnie Darko, which has some different music in it and has extended scenes. It's a lot longer. And apparently people liked it at first, but critical acclaim has subsided, let's say, in recent years. And apparently this is just inferior to the original film. I am going to watch it at some point. I couldn't help but pick it up because it's got this weird artwork on it. It's got a nice slipcover, you know. I mean, I'm kind of a... Oh, actually, I didn't even look at this yet. The inside of it, the cover is different. That's actually the cover that I'm used to seeing. So I'm actually kind of happy that I was able to procure this slipcover for the director's cut of Donnie Darko. But just wanted to mention that really quick. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of tonight's double feature. I hope that's what I've been calling it. I didn't say tonight's special feature, did I? No. It's tonight's double feature. Yeah, I'm gonna do these, you know, every now and then just for fun, basically, because sometimes it's late at night. I want to drink a bit. Well, not late at night. It's like 9:30. The older you get, you know, you just can't do it like you used to. It's not even a good idea that I'm drinking this beer right now. I'm gonna be up peeing until 1:30 in the morning, probably. This is not bad though. If you find a Kentucky bourbon barrel ale, maybe worth picking up. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to end every video like this, which is going to be the thumbnail. But I gotta get this ring light out of the way. There we go.